Hey guys, it's Jeff, Bookhouse boy, and I'm outside today, and I'm wearing my main T-shirt for a reason. I've got a haul. It's a one book haul, but it's a big one. It's the Mother Lode, and I'm wearing the main T-shirt, and you've already seen the title of this video, so you know that I'm talking about the King, Stephen King. I have not read all of his books. I don't own all of his books. I've loved everything I've read, though, and whether that's novels, short stories, I've loved them all. And one of my favorites, Salem's Lot. This is just a little signet paperback. Salem's Lot was written in 1975, and there was a made-for-TV movie. That's what they called them back then. I think from 79, although I could be wrong, that starred David Soul, and it was great, actually. Very different from the book, but still very cool. But back to the book. It's iconic. It's one of the best vampire books ever written, about a small town in Maine that is just overrun with vampires. And this is the only version of this book that I've ever had, which is pretty funny. But year before last, when I was working in New Zealand, I had the opportunity to recommend a buddy of mine for a camera crew position for an interview with Stephen King in Maine. And it was a promo piece that was being shot for Dr. Sleep, the sequel to The Shining. And my buddy was going to go do it. He was going to head out to Maine, which is where my buddy lives, but he wasn't in Maine at the time. He was going to head out to Maine, back home, and then do the interview with King in, I think, just like maybe a week and a half. And it hit me, this is it. This is my one and only opportunity to make this happen. So I started scouring eBay and other book sites to see if I could get my hands on a first edition. I knew it probably wasn't going to happen, but I was going to do my best. I found numerous versions, all of them way out of my price range, and just nothing that I could make happen. And then kind of at the last minute, I happened upon one. And it was reasonable to begin with. I made an offer for that first edition bundled with a different book, and was able to make the deal happen. The seller was very cool. I asked him to ship it directly to my buddy's house in Maine, which he did. My buddy ended up flying out to Maine. He went to his house the day before the interview with Stephen King. The book arrived. And make a long story short, too late, I know, but my buddy had the book. He and the rest of the crew met with Stephen King. They shot the interview. Stephen King was incredibly cool afterwards, and just said, yeah, if anybody has anything they want me to sign, I'm happy to do it. The rest of the camera crew had literally stopped at, I think, a Barnes and Noble on the way to the interview to buy a couple of things, and Stephen King signed them happily, and was excited to do it. And then my buddy pulled out my book, which you're going to see in a second, and as I'm told by my buddy and by the rest of the camera crew, when Stephen King saw it, he said, "Oh, that book warms my heart. That book's been read." He signed it. Here it is, you guys. Unbelievable. It's the first edition of Salem's Lot. There were 3 states of the first edition. The 3 states have to do with the dust jacket. The first 2 states incorrectly listed Father Cody instead of Father Callahan here in the little synopses. But this is a third state, but it's a third state, yeah, first edition, and there you go, first edition. And you can tell, obviously, because it says first edition, but then also on page 439, which is towards the end of the book, or I guess it's actually the last page of the book. Page 439, down at the very bottom of the inside margin, there's a little Q37, which also identifies it as a first edition. And you know, the book's worn, but I had no problem with that when I bought it. It meant that it was well loved, which was important to me. There it is for Jeff. Best wishes, Stephen King. July 12th, 2019. Yeah. I don't deserve this book. It doesn't get any better than this. Wanted to share it with you guys. Thanks for watching, Bookhouse Boy. I'll see you next time.